Welcome to Butler, the show that explores the artist sneaker culture. I'm your host, Adam Butler, back with another episode. Thank you so kindly for being here. Okay, so today is the big day. It's time for Sneaker of the Year. We're talking about it today. I'm breaking down my list of Sneaker of the Year. Quick disclaimer, my man Paul Span was supposed to join me today. Couldn't get our schedules together, so he won't be joining me. So I'm going to be rolling solo on this one. I'm going to be giving you my 5 sneakers of the year, and there's going to be some expected joints on there, and it may be some different. I don't know. It's just my personal list, and it's the official What Are Those list, okay? So we're getting into that, okay? But before that, you know what to do. Listen, it's been 1 year, y'all. 1 year. It's our 1 year anniversary at Up on Game. And man, we've grown since day one. Your boy has been with the team since day one. We'll talk about that a little bit in a few. But man, you need to go ahead and subscribe to our YouTube and subscribe to us on all podcasting platforms. We got so much content, so many new things. And 2023 is going to be such a huge year. Your boy might even have a surprise or two for you coming up in 2023. We're going to see. We'll see how that works out. Either way, man, go ahead and subscribe. Check out the squad. New shows all the time and a variety of shows. All right. We're kind of getting outside of the sports world, and we just turn it into an actual strong podcasting network. And I'm so proud to be a part of it. All right. The Up on Game Network on YouTube and Up on Game Network on all podcasting platforms. Your boy's there. Go ahead, subscribe and support. Okay, so I mentioned that it's been 1 year now. Last week, I spent a lot of time shouting out everybody. I'm not going to go through all that today. I remain forever appreciative of all of you. However, I'm not going to go through that today because you can tune in last week to hear all the love I give for everybody. But man, 1 year of broadcasting on the Up on Game Network, and I'm very, very proud and extremely excited to announce that we are doing season 3 of the What Are Those podcast. Clap it up for that. Clap it up. You at home, clap that up. Yeah, we coming back. Season 3, okay? And I've been talking to the crew. I've been working on some things. Season 3 is going to be a little bit different. So after next week's show, okay, I want to take a little bit of a break, a much-deserved little vacation for your boy, all right? I won't be on air. And that's okay, because when we come back, we're going to be working on some cool things, man. Some very, very cool things I'm hoping to get to you guys. Again, thank you for supporting me through all of this. We don't get to season 3 without you. You know this. I've said this. Thank you, thank you, thank you. All right, now I got another personal announcement to make. I'm actually kind of excited about this, okay, because I was critical, and I'm still critical, and I still may be critical of this app. But your boy hit on the Sneakers app and hit big. I hit pretty big on the Sneakers app, y'all. I hit on some Travis Scotts. Y'all hit on some Travs. I hit on some Trav Low Jordan 1s. I'm not playing. Like, I'm serious. I hit on some Trav Scott Jordan 1 lows, the all black things. Yeah. Now, I haven't gotten them yet. That's why I said I still might be critical of this app. I know people just hit, and then they've canceled your order and stuff like this. This is a pretty limited sneaker, so I'm hoping I'm not going to be part of the tragic bunch. But for right now, your man is happy that he hit. I never thought I'd see the day. Y'all, I can't believe it. I want to give a victory speech. I hit on sneakers. The app actually worked for someone, okay? Now, I'm being a little... y'all know I'm being a little cute right now, but it is a cool feeling, and it kind of reminds me, and I talked about last year about how 2022 was a good year for sneakers, and we'll be talking about some of those good sneakers in my Sneaker of the Year list coming up, but 2022 was a cool year for sneakers, and I kind of forgot that feeling of hitting on the sneakers app, and I kind of forgot that feeling of what it's like to have fun in this one, man. So, again, man, we ended 2022 with all positivity, okay? We're going to be exploring new brands in 2023. We're going to be exploring some homemade brands and some indie brands in 2023. We're going to be talking to athletes. We're going to be talking to celebs that represent brands, all sorts of stuff coming up in 2023. And we're going to be meeting some real cool people within the DC area and outside in 2023. We're going to be doing it in 2023, and I'm so excited. I cannot wait, man. So 1 year at Up On Game, it's a celebration. Season 3 of What Are Those? It's a celebration, and your boy hit on sneakers. It's a damn celebration. Okay? Listen, I'm excited today. We're getting to it. Sneaker of the year coming up next. Stay tuned. Okay. So, again, big shout out to my man Paul Spann. He was supposed to join me today, as I mentioned earlier. Couldn't join me today. This was going to be like a dual list, and we were going to kind of like compare, but we weren't able to do that, so it's just my list. So I was able to put a couple of more sneakers on the list because I have the time, all right? And this won't be one of my longer shows, but, you all going to get the gist, especially for my YouTubers. It's going to be a really cool one. And I do encourage you all to share the videos. That's something I want to say before we get started. Please remember to share this content. It goes a long way, man. Subscribing to the podcast and subscribing on YouTube is obviously a big deal for the network and for myself. But if you share these videos around, I like to put this stuff on the clips sometimes, share these videos around, man. It really helps spread the word for what we doing over here on Up On Game, and of course What Are Those, and of course on my feet as well, my co-producers on this project. Okay, so share this one, man. And also, as I always say, please comment and let me know what you think, man. This is one I really want to hear your feedback. Now, a lot of people were hitting me up when I announced that I was doing Sneaker of the Year. I got a lot of suggestions. I really appreciate that. Some of these they actually made it on the list, and they were, you'll see. It's gonna be obvious, right? But I hate to bury the lead, but yeah, it's gonna be obvious. You'll see which ones that were like the audience picks and which ones were my personal picks. Okay, so that's that. Okay, also let me give you the criteria for how I'm going about my sneaker of the year. Okay, you can't avoid hype. Some of the sneakers are going to be hype. Hype is hype for a reason, okay? Because a lot of us like it, a lot of us covet it. We want it. We want those sneakers, okay? So yeah, there's going to be some hype on there. There's no real like crazy like sleepers on this joint or anything like that. Nothing like, I'm not about to like pull anything out of thin air and be like, yo, we're not doing that. These are all going to be sneakers that I feel like deserve to be on the sneaker of the year list. It's not just a sneaker I like, right? It's not going to be like a waffle or anything like that. It's going to be sneakers that deserve to be on the sneaker of the year list. But I did stay away from stuff that people just could not get their hands on. All right, so you're not going to see those Louis Vuitton, what are the Air Max 1s or anything like that. You're not going to see any designer sneakers. You're not going to see any like one of one type joints that was just like, none of that. Okay, these are going to be sneakers that were available, even if they had some hype. And they're going to be worthy of hype. They're going to have some hype behind them. They're going to have some fanfare behind them, okay? That's my criteria. Also, I'm giving you 2 honorable mentions, okay? I'm giving you 2 honorable mention sneakers, okay? So that's my criteria. Sneakers I like, but they have to have some hype behind them, okay? And also, they had to have been obtainable. You have to be able to get your hands on them. All right. So you can't be a millionaire and the only person can get the sneakers is a millionaire. All right. So yeah. I'm rambling. Let's get to it. Let's get to the first honorable mention sneaker on my list. Let's go. I've been talking about this sneaker for a long time. You know what it is. I did a whole listen, this video has gone viral. A lot of you agree with me on this one. Okay, this sneaker is definitely my personal favorite sneaker, but it's an honorable mention for this list. It's the Taxi One. The Taxi One is an honorable mention because it's a beautiful sneaker. I've broken down the sneaker so many times. I love it. I haven't even worn my pair yet. That's how much I really, really like this sneaker. Okay, I'm waiting to wear that joint somewhere. I think it's a dope sneaker, and I love that it's super available. I love that people can get their hands on it. It just couldn't make my list because of that factor, honestly, because it I'd be lying to myself if I said this was the sneaker of the year or in the top 5 sneakers of the year. I'd be lying, but it's definitely one of my favorites. Y'all know this. I am a fan of this sneaker. I still say if this sneaker came out 3 years ago, it'd be $1,000, $800, $600 sneaker. But right now, it's incredibly available, and that's a good thing. The Taxi One is the first honorable mention on this list. Let's get to the second honorable mention right now. Second in my honorable mention list is the Nike Air Max 1 Concepts pack. I'm going with the entire pack because I can do whatever I want on this list. Okay, so I'm going with the entire pack because it's difficult to pick one. Listen, man, I love these sneakers, man. I had the cop, you know what I mean? They're beautiful. It was a perfect summer sneaker, but I was able to even wear a pair of these in the wintertime and kind of get away. Not kind of get away with it. You know, kind of get away with it. Do what you want. That's a new rule in 2023. We're going to do what we want. But anyway, dope concept. I mean, every box gets checked off with this sneaker, in my opinion. Okay, like you have creativity, right? You have wearability, right? And then you just have some level of excitement. That thing that when you wear these, people go, yo, what are those, right? And I get those. Like every time I've worn this sneaker, I get looks. And, you know, yeah, we understand. It's not all about that, blah, blah, blah. But come on. You know why. You know it's a cool feeling. So I love this one, man. But I just couldn't put it on my sneaker of the year list again. I was tempted. I was tempted to put this number 5. I really was. I was really tempted to put this entire pack at number 5. But I can't be that biased. I can't be that biased, especially when there were a couple of sneaks that people suggested, and I have to really honor that, and they were worthy of this list. So the Nike Air Max 1 Concept Pack, super dope, man. Super dope, and John like slept on it, if I'm being honest with you. It's pretty slept on, all right? So that's my 2 honorable mention sneakers. Now let's get to the actual list. Let's get to it. Let's go. Okay. So coming in at number 5 was a sneaker that had an extremely interesting drop. Really tried to prove a point. Is an unassuming sneaker, but this particular colorway really pops and really looks good and goes against the entire thing that it represents. I know a lot of people are really going to trip off this one being on my sneaker of the year. Or maybe not. Maybe they won't. But I feel like some people avoided putting this one in their sneaker of the year list because of the of what it represented. Okay, we're talking about the Tom Sachs Nike Craft general purpose sneaker in the yellow colorway. Okay, now the white ones are cool. They're fine. But these yellow ones are right up my alley. And this sneaker, I loved how, I get it. Some things are unavoidable. Hype is going to be there. I've had conversations about it. They released them in Kohl's, okay? That what they did are releasing Kohl's. And hype beasts and sneaker resellers were lined up and buying up sneakers at Kohl's. They didn't even come out in the Kohl's in my state or my city or state. Like, so I not in D.C. or in the state of Maryland. I don't think anywhere in Virginia I was going to be able to get to within an hour or two. So I wasn't able to walk up in Kohl's to get these sneakers. But a lot of people were. And, man, I get what they were going for. This is supposed to be an available sneaker. That's impossible in sneakers these days. It's really difficult to do when there's hype behind the sneaker. But what I like about this one is that they aren't reselling for much, and that is really, really good. If you want this, you can get your hands on it, and that's what it's all about. That's what this one was about, man. This sneaker is perfect, especially, remember I talked about a few weeks back or a few episodes back, I talked about like adult sneakers, right? And like sneaks that all adult men should have, right? This would go on that list. If you can get a pair of these, you can wear these anywhere. You can wear them casually. You can't wear them with a suit or nothing like that, but you can wear these in most situations. And the white ones you really can wear in most situations. I go with the yellow. The yellow are the ones that pop. The yellow are the ones that's eye catchers. This is really, really cool and really, really dope, man. The Tom Sachs thing is really dope. I like what he went for with it, what they went for with this one. And I like the idea of making it available, even if that didn't really happen on release. The resale is super duper low, and that feels like justice to me. This is number 5 on my list. The Tom Sachs general purpose. Super cool sneaker. That's why it's number 5. Let's get to number 4. Okay, so number 4 is a Jordan 4. I feel like the Jordan 4 was represented big time in 2022, along with the Jordan 2. No Jordan 2s made my list, by the way. No Jordan 2s made my list, even though Jordan 2 was kind of the sneaker of 2022. It really, a lot of cool collab stuff like that. No Jordan 2 made my 2022 list, but the Jordan 4 did. Coming in at number 4, it is the Jordan 4 Canyon Purple. I said this before. This sneaker reminds me of like 2012, 2013. It reminds me when sneakers had colors, man. And I'm with the earth tone. And again, I talk about adult sneakers and all that. This is not an adult sneaker. Well, any sneaker is an adult sneaker. You wear whatever you want. But what I mean by adult sneakers is like, you're not gonna. This isn't like a wear to the dinner party sneaker or wear to the office sneaker, unless you want to pop, unless you want to be different. Okay. This sneaker is all about catching the eye. This sneaker is all about feeling good when you wear it. This sneaker is all about flash. This sneaker is beautiful. It's beautiful. When I talk about the art of sneaker culture, and by the way, this is a women's exclusive, so you have to kind of size up if you're a man trying to get these. But when you talk about the art of sneaker culture, this one has it all, man. It has it all, like from the materials to the color blocking to the model. Look at it. It's the reason why this is on the list. This should be on everyone's sneaker of the year list. I know it didn't make a lot, and that's because we would focus on crazy hype. The sneaker had enough hype. It wasn't hard. It wasn't easy to just get now. Don't get me wrong. Every now and then they restock this thing. I miss it every single time. I don't own this sneaker, but man, I can't wait to get my hands on it. I'm going to have to get this one. Once I get some priorities out the way, take care and make sure my baby got everything and all that, and my son got everything. But once I do that, I'm going to try to get my hands on these, man. I just really like these, man. They're again, I like colors that pop. You know what I mean? I like things that when you put something on your feet, they're supposed to catch the eye. They're supposed to catch the eye, and it's always got to be like crazy flashy. Sometimes you can go a little too gaudy with the sneaker, and that's why I say this one just kind of reaches the edge of like too much. But man, it's super duper dope, and I'm glad this one was made for the ladies. Now, that whole debate about like whether men should be wearing women's shoes, I won't get into that one. Women's sneakers, I should say. But I will say that I'm glad that this was made for the women, and the women really got an opportunity to get this one first. Even when it restocks, sometimes it restocks in smaller sizes. You don't get the size 12 and 13 and, the men's size 11s, things like that. And that's cool because this is a women exclusive sneaker. So, big shout outs to the ladies on this one. Big shout outs to this joint, Canyon Purple, man. It just gives me those old vibes, man. It gives me them old vibes of sneaker culture, of the past, of days past, man. It reminds me of all that. And I'm definitely locking this one at number 4 on the list, the Jordan 4 Canyon Purple. Let's get to number 3. So number 3 is the Joe Freshgood Inside Voices. All right. Let's talk about Joe Freshgood for a minute, man, and what Joe represents and what happened in sneaker culture over the past couple of years. I've talked about it on the show. That sneaker culture has really transitioned from this thing that was all about athletes and, basketball and football to then it was like celebrities, Kanye, which celebrity could endorse this sneaker. Now I feel like it's about the designer. We're after a sneaker because of the designer or the brand behind it. And I think that's really, really cool because that is art. And Joe Freshgoods is an artist. Every time he drops a New Balance collab or his collab with Vans or wherever, the marketing behind it and the stories that are behind it are so cool. I'm talking even down to the commercials. Last time you really paid attention to a commercial for a sneaker? It's something that was cool when I was a kid. Lil Penny and the Jordan commercials and all that. I don't remember the last time I really saw a Nike commercial that really mattered to me. The new LeBron joint is kind of cool, but you get where I'm going with this. It's a lost art. And Joe really puts a lot of attention into the details. Joe puts a lot of attention into the releases. Now, some of the releases have been, controversial, but any sneaker release could be controversial these days. It's just really difficult to get things, especially when you have to buy everything online. So I won't judge him for that. But I will say that the authenticity, the sneakers feel authentic. They feel like they were made by someone that really cares and really wants you to experience a story and get a feeling when you wear them. And sometimes we can get a little pretentious with this with sneakers. We really can. Sometimes we get a little snobby, like the story and what are the materials. And this one nails it though. This one you could tell him, and along with like Alma Manier stuff too. Okay, this one you can really tell that this is a piece of art and a very wearable piece of art. A Joe Freshgood is not a sneaker that you're going to put up on a mantle and just stare at. It's something you're going to wear, and it's something people are going to ask questions about. You know me. Y'all know this. These are things in sneaker culture that I really love. People looking, not because they admiring and going, I wish I had those, but looking and wondering, what are those? What is that thing about? What is that sneaker about? What is that piece of jewelry about? What is that art piece about? That's what I love about sneaker culture. And Joe Freshgood always represents that. And with the inside voices, the story behind that, I think he nailed it. The execution was perfect. Perfect. I'm a big fan of the sneaker. I'm a big fan of what he does. I hope it continues. I haven't even got a pair of Vans yet, but I would support that just because I support the movement behind it, man. Big shout outs to Joe Freshgoods, man. These are number 3 on my list of sneakers of the year 2022. The only New Balance that made the list, by the way. Joe Freshgood Inside Voices. About as close to as perfect of a sneaker you're going to find, especially the one that came out in 2022. All right? We're hitting that home stretch now. Let's talk about number 2. All right. Now we in the real deal hype. Now we're talking about the super hype. Now we're talking about, the heavy hitters. All right. The heavyweights of sneakers in 2022. All right. And again, Louis Vuitton and all that didn't make my list. This one did, though. It's another Jordan 4. It's the Jordan 4 Alma Manier. Everything I just said about Joe Freshgood, I can say about Alma Manier and their branding and the storytelling. As an African-American, man with a black mama, shout out to my mom, man, but with a black mother, with married to a woman who is a mother, when I see them tell stories and honoring his mother, when I see the attention to details that's put into the sneaker, when I see the differences between a normal Jordan 1 and an Alma Manier Jordan 1, a normal Jordan 2 and an Alma Manier Jordan 2, a normal Jordan 4 and an Alma Manier Jordan 4, and a normal Jordan 3 and an Alma Manier Jordan 3, I appreciate every little stitch and every little detail. And the difference between the Alma Manier and the Joe Freshgood, right, or the Jordan 4 Canyon Purple, like, these aren't, I wouldn't consider these as like eye-popping sneakers, right? They're very, very, some of them are unassuming. The dirt is in the details. You have to pull the flap back. You have to look at the inside of the tongue to see inscriptions. You know what I mean? You have to really care about sneakers to really, 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 really appreciate, outside of just being a hype beast, to really, really, really appreciate the Alma Manier collaboration. And I think that's okay. That's why that is a difference between, like, Joe's and, like I said, the Canyon Purple. The Canyon Purple just pops. Like, it's just a good looking sneaker, right? It's not a crazy story. If there's a story, it doesn't really matter. It's just a cool colorway, right? The Joe Freshgood has colors and all of this because it's telling a different kind of story. The Alma Manier just gives you a feeling. if I could be really honest, you feel real grown with these on. And I know some people might laugh at that. And that might even sound funny. It might be funny. Who knows? But you feel, it gives you a different feel. It really represents the growth in sneaker culture for me. These aren't like tennis shoes. These aren't like play shoes. These are shoes that, you can get dressed up in. You know what I mean? They're sleek, right? They got fine materials on them. And they're just very, very mature, but not boring. Some people may think they're boring. I've heard people describe the sneaker as boring. I don't see it that way. I think it's just sleek. I think it's cool. I think it's everything that black culture is, just embodied in a sneaker. I know the Jordan 12 I know the rumors that the Jordan 12 is coming next. I think that one looks good too, if that's real. They haven't missed yet. Some are better than others, right? I think the 3 and the 4 are the ones that are that really stand out. I have the 1. The 1 is great. I've worn it. And the 2 is cool. It's cool. 2 is fine. But they haven't really let me down yet. And this 4 honestly could be the best one to me. So that's why this is number 2 on my list. This was definitely one that was, a community pick. And I couldn't deny it. So that's number 2. Now we're getting down to the nitty gritty. Let's get to number 1. So number 1 is one that I've had a interesting relationship with throughout the year, especially on this show. I've talked about it a couple of times. I've talked about how the Jordan 1 Chicago is a sneaker that I feel like should be available to people. Shout out to Sock Jig. He came on here. We had like a mini debate about it. He expressed that he doesn't feel like the Jordan 1 should be available, that the Jordan 1 should be, like a prize that people, that's not his words, but you get what I'm trying to say. It should be hard. It should be difficult to get because of the story behind it, because of what it represents. Wherever you land, the Jordan 1 Lost and Found is a really, really cool way to approach this particular sneaker now. It caused controversy, like all hyped up things, like a number 1 sneaker would, right? It brings out people saying like, oh, well, it's kind of ironic that Nike would make this representing like small mom and pops when most mom and pops are being closed down. Oh, it's kind of ironic you talking about a sneaker that you would just find, but you're definitely not going to find this one. I was of the belief that the release was going to be really easy to get. I couldn't even get a pair of these. I was actually blown on that day. We talked about it with Sock Jig about how I was joking and hating online, being funny for real. I won a pair of these, and this was undeniable, man. It was a community pick, obviously, and storytelling. I think I had personally gotten away from caring about storytelling. I think I did. But this one definitely tells a story, and it's definitely just, like I said, the dirt is in the details, down to the box, down to the authentic looking box with the mismatched lid and all this and that. It's the reason why everybody wanted this sneaker. I'm not going to say anything about this sneaker that you don't already know. It's super cool, okay? And it's a Jordan 1. And I'm 40, so Jordan 1s are going to always be kind of in my bag. You know what I mean? And I really appreciate this one. I really do. I really appreciate this sneaker. When I got to see it in hand, I really, really understand what they were going for. I wish it were more available, but it wasn't. And it's probably for a reason. And that's why it's number 1 on my list. All right. So that's my number 1. That's my top 5 plus 2 honorable mentions. I want to know what's on your sneaker of the year list. Let's keep this conversation going because, of course, this is all a matter of opinion. All right. But this is the What Are Those Up on Game sneaker of the year list. All right, we've reached the end of the show. Thank you so much for tuning in. Thank you for sitting through my list of my personal favorite sneakers of the year. My top 5 sneakers of the year was really, really fun. I'm looking forward to doing this year after year after year with you guys, man. Remember, season 3 coming in January. Thank you so much for all of the support, and thank you so much for all that you do, okay? Remember to follow me on all social media platforms, okay? On all social media platforms. MSR_Adam on Twitter, as long as I'm on Twitter, and Instagram, and of course the Butler Did It podcast on TikTok. Okay, remember to follow the squad, the Up on Game Network, at the Up on Game Network. Remember to follow the team, my co-producers on this project, the On My Feet Network. Man, remember to mind your mental health. The holidays are here. All right, enjoy yourselves, spend time with family, take it easy. Okay. Mind your mental health, okay? Remember to mind your physical health, all right? Watch what you eat over this time. Don't go too crazy, all right? Don't go too hard on the eggnog and all that, all right? Take care of yourself. But more importantly, please remember, always remember to be great. I'm up out of here. Peace.